Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today's going to be a little different but fun at the same time. So I started falling in love with YouTube back in 2015, and that's how I kind of got into this field and playing with makeup and doing makeup reviews. And I started watching the best of the best, like Tati Westbrook, Jaclyn Hill, Jeffree Star, James Charles. Well, James Charles didn't come until later on. I'm probably going to get a lot of controversy talking about Jeffree Star and James Charles, but I mean, it is what it is. I mean, they're beauty influencers, they're makeup brand owners, and this is my job. This is what I do. I review makeup. But get back to what I was saying is they really made it into what it is today. YouTube has kind of slowed down a little bit, and everybody's on TikTok, and I still kind of haven't really got the rhythm. Like TikTok, you're only allowed 10 minutes per video, and I can't even do a full face of makeup in 10 minutes, not alone. I'm only on here for 30 minutes or 45 minutes, and that is super long, and that's talking with an introduction and doing a full face of makeup. But I thought of a really good idea for a video title, so I'm thinking let's take it back to back in the day where makeup all started and YouTube really happened for everybody, and the whole entire brands like Estee Lauder, MAC, Morphe. So let's recognize some of those brands. Some of these brands, really that's when Kylie Cosmetics, her brand really started popping with her lip kits. So we're really going back in the day, and some of this makeup is probably expired, but some of it I really couldn't save because it's not recommended to use expired some of the eye makeup. But I have a lot of it that I bought from back in 2015 that I'll be using in this video. So I'm really super excited. I even have my first palette, my first luxury palette that I bought from Ulta Beauty. And that's really when I went into an Ulta Beauty store for the first time, I was overwhelmed, honey. I was like, what do I get? There was so many brands in there. And I kind of seen one particular palette, and it had the colors that I was looking for. And you'll see that in the video later on, but let's go ahead and take it back to old school and do a full face of makeup back in 2015, how we used to do our makeup. None of this cream stuff or anything, because that's not how we used to do our makeup. It was all powder and concealer and foundation and so on. So the first primer that I started using was by Touch in Sol. This is No Pore Problem Primer. It's a smooth plus pore covering top secret for perfecting makeup. Before I do that, I didn't even apply moisturizer. And this moisturizer was even a hit back in 2015. And I still love this moisturizer till this day. It's so hydrating. It feels so good on the skin. I love it so much. And they even have a thicker moisturizer if you're into something. This is kind of more or less water-based, but it feels so good. It's like drinking a glass of water. Look how hydrating my skin looks. It looks refreshed. And I always use this moisturizer underneath my foundation and even underneath my primer, because you're supposed to do all your skin prep and then go in with your face primer, whether you're using a mattifying primer. If you have any pores or texture, use a primer for that. Or if you don't have, and you're lucky if you don't have any pores or texture, use a hydrating primer, because that way you don't look crusty or dusty under foundation. You know how foundation can be like, your skin can look flaky under foundation? You need a hydrating primer. And even that is not enough. You need a moisturizer also. I would say water-based. I wouldn't go in with a heavy cream, because then it's gonna get oily. So my skin looks gorgeous like it always is. I've used so much of this, like it's lasted me a long time, and I need to like get more. So I'm gonna go in with this primer, and I'll show you guys what it looks like. It's got this whip texture to it. I'll just take it on the back of my hand and apply it. This might be expired. It smells clean. Let me see if this is even, I can't even remember if this even did anything. But it smells like, have you ever smelt like Johnson & Johnson baby lotion? That is what it smells like. So if you don't like scents, this is not your primer, but it definitely blurred. I can definitely see a difference. So I applied the primer on this side, and this is no primer. Primer, no primer. And it looks really good. Like it's ready for foundation. I'm gonna apply more so that way I can have all even skin. The last three, over the weekend, it was a sad day for me. Not just yesterday, but Saturday was very sad for me, and Sunday, and then on Monday. As some of you may or may not know, my father-in-law passed away, and we had his funeral services. The first day was viewing, which was Saturday. Oh, and it was so hard. I mean, especially my husband. And all I can do is just be there. I mean, I can't really tell him. I mean, it does get easier as days go by. I lost a parent, and I know how hard it hit me. But Saturday, I cried like a baby. Sunday was like the service where we were able to also view him, and then they had like the church service, and then they had a dinner, which the service or the church that my father-in-law went to put on a luncheon, which was very thoughtful of them. I have to send him a thank you card, but it was a very good luncheon. They had a lot of good like salads. They had like chicken, just different. And they had like desserts. I thought I was like gonna really like the desserts, and that day they had good desserts. I just wasn't really into it. I think it was just because of my nerves and stuff with everything going on. And then my father-in-law was in the Vietnam War, and he actually got wounded in his war, and they ended up discharging him because he did get wounded. But they honored him, had soldiers there, and then they shot some guns off. And it was a very beautiful send-off where they just buried him. And again, me and my husband lost it again. It was just, so I don't even want to mess my face up, but I'm gonna miss him so much. And he was definitely a God-given guy. I mean, like when I was having bad days, he would always pray with me, or any health issues, he prayed with me. He constantly had the TCT channel on, which is a church channel. he used to go to, like before his stroke, he used to go to church every Sunday. Well, after his stroke, we just couldn't, it's hard to get him in and out of the house. So we ended up just, you know, having church on the TV for him. And so he would watch TV on there, and he would like have it all day, every day. And I'm like, Dwayne, let's take a break. Let's put some Westerns on, and then I'll put it back on for him. Otherwise, he'd have it on all day, every day. And like after when he first had his stroke, we put him in physical therapy, and he didn't want none of it. The physical therapist was like, hey, no pain, no game. And he said, too much pain, no game. So I remember that him saying that. It's sad, and I'm not going to be able to talk to him anymore. I promise I wouldn't do this. I'm sorry, guys. Get it together, Leah. I'm sorry, guys. Let's go ahead and get into foundation. So this was one of the first foundations that I started using besides Fenty. I couldn't find my Fenty foundation when Fenty Beauty like first launched their brand. She came out with like it reminded me of like a spaceship palette. She doesn't have it anymore in her collection, but she released that and some like galactic lip glosses, and I think she released a foundation and then a primer. And then I also was using the Loreal up to 24-hour fresh wear infallible foundation. I'm in the shade 215. So I'm gonna go apply some foundation. You guys are probably like, oh, my ugly face crying. But yeah, it was a really nice service, and he would have been very pleased and happy with it. I really like this brush. It's dual-sided, so you get like the foundation brush on one side and then the concealer on the other, which makes it nice. I think that's one thing I hate when I go to do my makeup. There's so many brushes to use. But I hate cleaning them. I think that is like the worst part about makeup, is cleaning them. Get this hair out of my face. Come on, hello. And this foundation is still beautiful as this today. So gorgeous. I mean, look how gorgeous that is. Beautiful. I will never ever get tired. This is like one of the best foundations in the drugstore. Besides, there's another one that I need to get my hands on. It's the Maybelline Stay Fit foundation that just came out. So I need to try that. Are you kidding me? I didn't get a concealer? What? How did I not pick up a concealer? I'm just gonna get, so Nars was popular back in 2015. So I'm gonna use my Nars concealer pot. It's also a brightening concealer. So I'll use that. And then I'll just use the other side of this brush. I really, really like this concealer, and as you can see, it like blended out all my dark circles like really quickly. I never ever have a problem with this concealer at all. It's like one of my favorites. That looks so gorgeous underneath the eyes. It doesn't crease or do anything funny to me. It looks hydrating underneath the eyes. I think I might brighten in some of the areas. It's kind of the same color as my foundation. My corners of my nose. All right, so the next part is usually, you usually see me using my cream products and then using a powder. We're gonna go in with the powder. So this, I still have a backup of this because when this first came out, this was like gold. This was a collaboration between Patrick Starr and MAC. He made it, came out with a translucent powder, and it came in this stunning packaging. And the powder comes out of this hole, and what you do, you just put it in a container like that. And I still have some of this. Like I said, it's probably expired, but I have a brand new one that hasn't been opened. So I don't know if that is expired, even though it's not open. I'm not sure. So I'm gonna set underneath my eyes with a powder puff. This is a beautiful powder too. And I just kind of like work it into my powder puff. Like, that looks so gorgeous. I never get tired of using this powder. I need to use it up. I try so many products all the time that I don't get a chance to use any of my products that I do have. And I feel like it's a waste. But this is what I signed up for. Look how beautiful, like it's looks so blurring underneath the skin. Like, this is really gorgeous. Hello, you guys need to come out with some more of these powders. I don't know if it's, I don't think it's the same powder as Patrick Starr launched, because it's a collab with MAC, so it's got MAC's ingredients in it. All right, let's get in with some bronzer. I've been playing with some makeup, I'm sorry. I was testing out a product and I kind of like went too hard, but the blush is blushing. I've been testing out this brand, it's called Flea, and these are like, they're pudding pots, and they really feel like pudding. This is in the shade Baddie, and Baddie looks like this. It really does feel like pudding, but the consistency is so soft, creamy, like, and they sent an applicator, so this is supposed to mimic your finger, and your finger is meant to like warm product, especially concealer, underneath your eyes, but they use this applicator to melt in their cream products, which definitely did a good job, so I'm loving that. And then they sent another shade over. This is Rosy Glaze. This is like a mauve tone, but still stunning on its own. Which is a little bit more sheer. And not only can you use these for blushes, but you can also use them on your lips. Like, as you can tell, like I've already been applying it to my lip. and it just, oh, it looks like I just got, like, I bit into a berry, and it's so, like, gorge on the lips. Like, I'm so impressed. Like, I kind of want to, like, buy some more of these from the brand, because I'm in love. Like, they're doing their thing with these. Let's go ahead and apply some bronzer. This was my first bronzer that I bought. I'm not sure if Pretty Vulgar is still around. So this is by Pretty Vulgar. I love the frame packaging on this. This is in the shade Bronze B, which Bronze Mankini, which might not even matter because I don't know if they're still in business. So I'm going to apply some of this on a product. It's kind of orange. And stamp it on my forehead. This is definitely a bronzer and not a contour, as you can see. This is why I didn't use it very much, because it's so orange. Like, I don't want to look like an Oompa Loompa, but it's not that bad. And then add it to my cheekbones, just to add some color. That's a little too much product. I'm going to take the other side of the brush and kind of diffuse it. That's better. Now the next blush that I bought, oh, I really, really wanted this blush. This is, and this brand still consists. This is by Aucoin. I love, like, the ombre effect on this blush. It's kind of dirty, but you're getting like 3 different colors of blush. You can either use them separately or mix them together. This is kind of like going to give you not a matte blush, but kind of a semi-matte blush. It's like a glowy blush. I need a blush brush. Here we go. So I think I'm just going to use all the shades together, which looks like that, but that's a little too much. And add it to my cheeks that I already have product on. Now I'm going to take that same brush that I was using for the bronzer to kind of diffuse that blush because I applied it too much. This was the other palette that I first bought from Loreal. They're still in business, but this contour palette is everything, and I still use it to its day. Oh, excuse me. But you get to highlight, where you get like a highlighting shade, a banana powder, and then this is a beige highlight, and then like you get like a bronzer, a contour, and even a lighter. You can even use it as eyeshadow. So this was my first contour palette that I bought. And then, so let's do some brows. So the first brow products that I bought were from Benefit. I have 2 different products. This is more like a brow gel, and then we have the brow pencils. I have 2 shades. I have one that's a little bit lighter, and then the other one's darker. I have shade 3 and shade 4. You get a spoolie on one side, and then your pencil on the other. I want to go a little bit lighter today, so I'm going to go in with shade 3. And I just start lining underneath my brow like that. And then comb up. My brow game has definitely changed from when I first started doing brows to now. Then I'm going to use the spoolie on the other side and pull the product through. Real simple today. So they definitely ain't twins, but they are sisters for today. Pull the product through. Now I'm going to take the Gimme Brow, which this I really love. I really love this. I miss actually using this. This is a brow gel. And what I really like about this, it has the really thin spoolie, so you can really get in there. So what I usually do is I'll brush up like this, and then I'll back comb my brow like that without making a mess, which I just made a mess doing. My goodness. Not very etiquette. But look at the difference from that to that. Big difference. There we go. For highlight, this was the very first highlight palette I bought. I bought from Sam's Club. This is by the brand Beauty Professional. And you get 3 different shades. You're getting like a champagne color, a pinky tone, and more or less a gold tone. Go in. I don't remember exactly what this highlighter looked like. I think I'm going to go in with the shade in the middle. That's really pretty. It still looks pretty. Wow. Huh. Gorgeous. Let's go in with eyeshadow. So this was my first palette that I bought from Ulta. This was a collaboration with Gwen Stefani and Urban Decay. It's seen better days. But this is what it looks like. I actually cleaned it up yesterday. But I really loved it because it had my brown tones. It did have some colorful tones in it. It had some like a burgundy shade. It just had shades that I really wanted in a palette. It even had a black, and these are really beautiful, buttery, blendable. I mean, they were gorgeous shades. Let's go ahead and apply some primer. My primer that I did use back in the day, I don't have it. It was the Urban Decay primer. That's what I bought a long time ago. And then I also bought the Urban Decay setting spray, which I don't have, but we'll just say we do have it, but we'll use a different setting spray. All right, trying to debate on what do I want to go with. I think I want to go in what I used to go in with back in the day with the brown tones. So I'm going to go in with, what is this shade? 1987, which is right here. It's like a cool tone brown. I'm going to put that in my crease, back and forth. This is still gorgeous. It's still buttery and pigmented to this day. I won't get rid of this palette because it, like I said, it's my first palette that I bought from Ulta. It's the only one that I could afford at the time. I think it was on sale. Matter of fact, I think it was around $24. And then ever since then, I was hooked, line and sinker. Then after that, I started buying Too Faced. I started falling in love with their products. I even still have, like, I still love Too Faced. They will always have a soft spot in my heart. I would love to be put on their PR list. I would lose my I'm sorry, I can't swear, but I would lose it. All right, so I'm going to use a different brush. I'm going to go into, let's see. Actually, I think I'm going to use this lid shade right here, this bubblegum shade. This is in the shade, what is this? Those are for those. These don't have shades or shade names. Or yes, they do. This is Harajuku. Juku. I'm gonna go in there with this shade. It's really pink, buttery shade, and apply it to my lid. Then I'm going to go in with Punk, which is this shade right here, on my corner of my eye. So I need something smaller. Here we go. On the other side. and just deepen that crease up. Then I'm going to go back in with, what shade was it? Night, no, it was Zone actually. I was reading the shades wrong. And just enforce that brown shade back into my crease. There we go. And then I think we're going to highlight the brow. So I'm going to go in with the same shade that I always do to highlight with. And this is Blondie. I used to use this shade to highlight all the time in this palette. Which definitely, look how brightened that looks compared to that side. Go in with some liner. So I'm using the liners that I used back in the day. I feel like I'm old saying that, because I am. So I use Covergirl Perfect Point Plus eyeliner in the waterline. And then for liquid liner, I use the Covergirl Perfect Point Plus liner. So these are all brand new. I had to replace these. These are not ones that I had from a long time ago. I still love how beautiful this eyeliner looks. Now we're gonna let them dry. Let's go ahead with some lips because I don't want it to smear. My first lip was by Kylie Cosmetics. This is in the shade Risky Rose. This is in her Plumping lip liner. So I'm gonna line my lips. And then I'm going to go in with her liquid lip. This is Cocoa by Kylie Cosmetics. It's like a pinky tone. This might be expired. It smells good though. I'm going to let that dry because I want to add like a gold shimmer. This is definitely a lip gloss that I bought a long time ago. I actually ended up buying 2 of them in the collection. This was the Desi Perkins with Dose of Colors collab. I ended up getting the silver shade and the gold shade, and I just thought this gold would look beautiful. So I'm going to let that dry, but I'm going to go ahead and apply some eyeliner to my waterline. So I'm going to apply pigmented and creamy like I remembered. Alright. This is dry. Yep, it's dry. So let's apply some shimmer. That is beautiful. You guys see how shimmery and beautiful that looks? Now so this was a 2-in-1. So you get like a lash curler on one side and then a mascara. This is by the brand Trestique. If I pronounced your brand wrong, I'm so sorry. I'm scared to apply my lashes to this, but let's give it a try. Oh, Lord, have mercy. How is this thing? Okay, this is not safe at all. It doesn't even get all your lashes. Alright, I'm not using this. The problem I have with this is your lash is basically, you can't get them all. You basically get half of your lashes. So I understand why they were trying to create this, but they need to go back to the drawing board. This needs to be wider because look how wide this lash curler is compared to this. Do you see what I'm saying? So this is not a go for me, but I will definitely try the mascara. But let me go ahead and curl my lashes. So I'm not coordinated to reach over and curl, so I have to use my other. Now let's try the mascara. So the wand looks like this, kind of like an hourglass. I like the mascara. That I definitely like. It's kind of flaky too. Works for the bottom, which I like about a mascara. You know how a mascara, like, after a while, like, it's wet at the beginning, and then after a while, it gets a little dry? That's how this formula is, and I really like that about a mascara. Alright, you guys, we are at the end. I think I am having an awesome makeup day. Like, I love 2015 makeup. Love it. We need to dust the rest of my face because we didn't go in with the rest of the powder. So I'm going to go in with some more of this powder and put it all over my face because I only put it underneath my eyes. There we go. I look so good. This looks airbrushed. It looks gorgeous. Like, I love this. Love. All right, you guys. I will list every single product that I use in this video in the description box. I love you guys, and I will see you guys in the next video.